What's up, guys? Welcome back to Higurashi. Um, is Hojo-san trying to stay home today too? For a day Sunday, know anything? The teacher's voice wasn't critical, but Rika-chan hung her head, unable to answer, and I felt really bad for her. The teacher called Rika-chan up, and they had an exchange in husband tones at the dies. I don't know. At first, Rika-chan said that Satiko's fever had grown worse, but everyone at class knew it was a lie. Because every day Rika-chan brought Satoko's Buto with her. Satoko-chan, I wonder what happened. Don't ask me. I'm the one who wants to know most of all. It's already the third day since Satoko's first absence. Ever since then, I haven't felt good. Until just last Sunday, everything had been so much fun. I had reached out to Satoko like a real older brother, and we spent that time quietly but warm and comfortable. So, why had it suddenly been flipped over? The more I thought about it, the more I thought that the world had taken a turn for the worse ever since Oishi had arrived. Thinking on it now, maybe those strange apprehensions plaguing me in the night before Oishi arrived had been a sign. Corrado Oishi or Yoshio-sama's servant. Shit, that's impossible. They could decide Satoko will be the cursed victim this year just because he showed up. Just what sort of slip up had I committed to, because those fun times to end so suddenly. Yes, it was the day before Oishi appeared. Shiami and Arena had spoken of the curse surrounding Satoshi and her disappearance, and was so sinister it gave me a bad premonition. Such a small thing was a slip-up that invited Yoshio-sama's servant. It was absurd. I kept on grunting to myself that I would never accept it ever. I obviously wasn't the only one suppressing my feelings. Me and Arena were too. Everyone in the class was doing it. Rika-chan knew about Satoko's situation, but she wouldn't tell us. Rika-chan still held a calm attitude like a cat basking in the sun, but she was being unbelievably stubborn about this whole thing. She didn't want to tell us that wouldn't change no matter how many times we asked her. Everyone asked her that, so nobody questioned her. If Rika-chan won't talk, then we just have to wait, and she might not be talking because it's something not worth saying. There was no persuasive power and reassurance given with an anxious face like that. I was being taciturn and just looked up at the sky with somehow annoyed expression. I could tell if she was unhappy that Rika-chan wanted to talk about it with her own friends, or if she was concerned over Satoko's well-being. And what about me? My anxiety was suffocating me day after day. If someone else were looking at me, then maybe I'd look annoyed like Mion did. Tap tap. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. It was Tomita-kan Okamura-kan. Mibara-san, do you have a minute? Did your ball get stuck again? You guys have to get it yourselves this time. Don't rely on the other kids for everything. I didn't feel like going along with them, so I was little. I accidentally touched the mouse pad on my laptop and skipped it. Whoops. We had a little interesting rumor. A rumor? Yeah. I just thought it might have something to do with that. A rumor. I've also tickled that they hadn't said that, but it didn't seem unrelated. They didn't want to talk in the class, so they pulled me behind the school building, lending further credence to that thought. The back of the school is damp and humid like always. Students didn't really come here because they wanted to. It might, however, have been an ideal location for trading rumors away from prying eyes. Tomita-kan, Okamura-kan. These rumors, they were about Satoko. What? Is absent. Why is she's absent, alright? We don't know if it has something to do with it, though. Or maybe. What on earth happened to Satoko? She's sick? Or could she be, really sick or injured or something? No, actually, it's the opposite. I heard my grandma was saying that she came to buy tofu at her shop yesterday. Otamina's family runs a tofu shop at Okamura-kan. She went shopping to buy some tofu. My voice sounded so stupefied, even I can tell. It was understandable. I was worried about what grave illness or injury she had when the person herself had been announced about shopping for tofu. How was she? Did she look okay? Was she wearing a mask like she was getting better? Or she used crutches, or did she have bandages on her? No, there wasn't. Wait, what? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. There wasn't really any signs of sickness or injuries on her, but I should have felt relieved when I was in health or injury. But my anxiety wasn't going away, because Tomita-kan and Okamura-kan's expressions weren't looking any better. She apparently came to buy one piece of soft tofu, but my grandma said it was strange. Strange? Why? What's wrong with buying soft tofu? Irritated by how roundabout they were being, I had to desperately fight the irritation from creeping into my voice. Well, Hojo and Furuta live by themselves, but they don't have that much money, right? So they only ever buy the cheaper, firmer kind of tofu. They never about the soft stuff. It's the most expensive thing there. Soft or hard, they're both tofu, right? Maybe she just wanted something, some great tofu or something. Well, maybe, but I knew how to spare on her right then. This wasn't anything trivial. It was some kind of important clue. Not the cheap firm or tofu, but the expensive soft kind. Shopping in the evening after school, but in the middle of the day. I couldn't figure out what those things meant. As far as I thought hard about it, Okamura took his turn to speak. Me next. This is just a rumor. But apparently he's back. He? Who? Who's back? Hojo's uncle. Satoko's uncle. Right? I think Coach told me about him. Oh, I was hoping they were going to say brother. Damn it. Anyway, their aunt and uncle had taken them, and after Satoko and Satoshi lost their parents in the accident, Hojo's uncle, they say he skipped town last year scared of Oyoshi-Osama's curse. He's really scared and violent like a gang member. And I think Coach told me he came back in bits and pieces. Right, that mean aunt and uncle who tormented them all the time. I think he said that after their aunt was beaten to death by the deviant, he ran away to his lover's house in Okinomiya in fear of the curse. Why would she be staying home from school and shopping for soft tofu in the middle of the day just because her uncle came back? Middle class cleaned up and looked downwards. There must be some big hint buried in there. Even if I don't understand it, if I told me on arena about it, they probably know something. Oh, about you too. You were nuts and don't talk about it, and I started hammering these questions. Oh, no, it's okay. Now we know that she hasn't been in bed this whole time, gravely ill. That's worth something, right? I don't know. That might be true, but it still won't. It won't make the clouds over my head fade away. Ah, my bear son over there. Okamura cried wildly, pointing over my shoulders behind me. Started to turn around and way on the other side of the schoolyard near the school gate. I saw figures trudging forth. Ah, it's Hojo. I burst into a run faster than I could speak, so that as quick as possible, I could see it in my own eyes that she was okay. Satoko seemed taken back by me shouting, running over to her. Oh, my, what is it, Kichi-san? We surprised because all the yelling and running. Stupid enough about me already. 3 days. What happened to Toko? I was so worried. Oh, what a worry wart. It was only 3 days. It was such a worry wart, Kichi-san. From listening to her, she seemed like the normal Satoko, but I could tell she was clearly acting strangely. Her smile was somehow forlorn, and her complexion was bad for some reason. Hojo, were you alright? Were you sick or something? Dominica and Okamura both expressed their concerns. Just what happened anyway. 3 days. You know how worried I was? Oh, I do so apologize. We're just giving the house a good cleaning. We haven't used it for a rather long time, so everything in it was covered in dust. Huh? Suko, what are you talking about? Why would you have to stay home from school to clean the house? Suko didn't answer me and said she passed by me and headed straight for the entrance. Gosh, it was nearly about lunchtime, is it not? I am just starving. It was certainly lunch break. Okay, I forced her to stop after she told me she went on lunch just she was still so hungry. Well, whatever, if it could just be eating your lunch for 3 days now. You look like you can eat it today. Let's just go to the classroom and put Amos Mon at ease. You're right. I suppose I may have caused anyone to worry. Oh, it sure is tough being popular. I put a hand on Stuko's shoulder and we ran into the classroom together. Up close, I was able to verify that Stuko looked somehow weak. All that anxiety was supposed to go away when I saw her again. That's what I had thought. But now I actually started to have quite different fears. Would that happen to Stuko? Everyone in the class, of course, reacted in the same way, exact way I had. We're worried about you. I'm glad to see you well. What are you doing for 3 days? Her classmates showed her in questions. I truly do apologize for causing her fuss. If you can't go, she chowed down on the bit of kitchen I made for her. Those at the teacher's lounge must have been informed of Stuko's arrival because our teacher sprinted into the classroom, her breathing ragged. Hojo-san. Ho-sensei, I'm sorry for worrying you these 3 days. Oh, as you can see, I'm as fit as a fiddle. I was very worried about you. You didn't even come right to the teacher's lounge. I have a lot to talk to you about. I must be in for a good scolding for those 3 days at her class. Zuko laughed sheepishly while she scratched her head, and the rest of us in class burst out into laughter. The teacher was acting angry, but she breathed out a sigh of relief at seeing Satoko healthy and smiling as she ate her lunch with the class surrounding her. What a relief, right, Rena? Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm glad she's okay. I looked at Rena and knew she had a sister slip out, so Tuko's off too. looked to see me detached from her clamor as well with somewhat grim expression. But Rika, on the other hand, was smiling from ear to ear. She spread out the bento boxes one by one as Satoko finished them. Finally, Satoko was satisfied after enjoying a thorough conversation with her classmates. Remember that she had been called to the teacher's lounge. It's such a pain, but I think she'll be angry if I don't go. I'll go with you. Satoko rises from her seat. Rika-chan runs over to her. I do apologize, Kichi-san. I'll be right back after getting scolded. Right. I mean, I could go with you too. We're all comrades to get scolded in the teacher's lounge ever since the Korean incident, right? That won't be necessary. Kichi should mind the place while we're away. Rika-chan's words were gentle, but the firm rejection was clear in her eyes. The two of them exited into the hallway, walking shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the class breathed a collective sigh of relief, broke apart, and went back to their usual lunch break banter. We, however, couldn't go back to how we usually were. Not Mian, and of course not Reina. They started the classes. Sorry, guys. He started the classroom, Hicks took on Rika-chan and left through their expressions a little distant and grim. We're all friends, isn't that right? I blurted out some strange, so Mian and Reina turned around with dubious expressions. I don't keep anything from my friends, so I'll tell you what I just heard a little while ago. I told the stories I heard from Tomita-kan, Okamura-kan earlier about the tofu shop and how Satsuko's uncle apparently come back all at once without letting them speak. And that's all I know, so either of you knows anything, please say so. I've said everything I can. I know I said this for him and looked at me on Rena's eyes in turn. Rena stared right back at me, her eyes didn't falter. Without even opening her mouth, I could tell she wasn't hiding anything. Then her gaze turned to Mian. It's not like I was trying to keep it a secret or anything. Mian could have seemed to endure her silent stares and began to talk timidly as if she was guilty of something. It's just now that you said to Kichi, and I guess I have to talk about it. Micha, he knows something? Well, I mean, I knew from the first day that Satsuko's uncle had come home that he just suddenly showed up in Hinamizawa last Sunday. Why didn't you tell us that? I'm sorry. My angry shot caused Amanda to flinch away, look down, and hang her head uncomfortably. Kichi-kan is nothing to get angry about. You're scaring me, Chen. Huh? Oh, sorry, I shot it at you. I lowered my head in an apology. Mia accepted it, collected herself, and continued. According to her, her uncle's relationship with his lover, whom he had been with in Okinawa, had collapsed. Without anywhere to go, he went back to home to Hinamizawa, and on that Sunday, the day of the barbecue, her uncle ran into Satoko and brought her back to the house. Why? Why did he bring her with him? Because he's a good-for-nothing parasite. He can't even cook by himself, might as well doing any cleaning. But that's, he brought Satoko-chan back to have her cook and clean? Fuck this dude, man. I remember that she said she'd been cleaning the house when I met her back at the school gate. A moment later, pieces fell into place and the jigsaw puzzle of unease. And as for what the puzzle depicted, and when I saw it from afar, I could see the answer clearly. Satoko was locked up at home and tormented into doing the housework. Those are the rumors. If you knew that, why didn't you speak up? I nearly yelled at me, but hastily stopped myself. Michan, is it true? I haven't seen it myself, so I don't know if it's true or not. Mian looked down again, staring at the floor. It grew quiet. Just like last year, like when they lived with their mean uncle and his wife. But this uncle is completely helpless when it comes to housework, right? If it goes to that point, then there won't be any reason to torment her, would there? Kichi-kan, I don't know what grounds you have for saying that, but you shouldn't be so irresponsible. Mian clearly and directly got mad at me. You don't know much about this, so don't talk as though you do. Yes, that's clearly what she meant. Fine, then, did you know something, Reina? I don't know anything either. I didn't know her uncle had taken to the house until hearing it just now. But the situation is different from a year ago. The situation is different. What does that mean? Satoshi-kan isn't here. Satoshi really cared about his little sister. He always stuck up for her. He was her shield so that she would be affected just a little less by their me and uncle's fighting. That mean Uncle Satoko-chan are the only ones living there now. Can you imagine how stifling that must be, Kichi-kan? He only even came back because he broke up with the woman he was staying with. Do you think a person who came back for such an unpleasant reason would be able to treat Satoko-chan kindly? She was right. It was easy for me to imagine Satoko not being tormented. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry too. I sounded like I was interrogating, didn't I? How an awkward atmosphere floated among us. The three of us remained silent and just stared at the floor. Finally, we heard the principal's bell ringing. The teacher came back with Satoko and Mika-chan at our side. All right, we're starting afternoon class. Class president, please. Everybody stands up. Oh, I'm sorry, how rude of me. I couldn't read anything from Satoko's vaguely sheepish expression. But given the clouded look Mika-chan was wearing behind her, it was tough to laugh at the disquieting story I heard from Mion. I think the game froze. Oh, never mind, huh? All white. Oh, wait, no, I thought I said, all right. Okay, whatever. I thought I said all white, whatever. First time in a while everyone's been here. Let's all have a roaring good time with the whole club. Yeah, perfect. Indeed, as times like these, the best thing to do is obviously get rowdy and scream against one another in the club activity. Hee, just what I was waiting for. Hey, Satoko-chan, let's play. There was that game we liked. Was it there? What was it again? It doesn't matter which. Tell me. Mion laughed happily, took a bunch of games out of the club locker and lined them up on the desks. I think that was the first time Mion ever let someone else decide on the game for her. I could tell she was being especially considerate to Satoko. Thinking that whatever her circumstances, if we could just enjoy our time together as a group, there might be some comfort, some diversion. Satoko seemed to understand her feelings too and smiled vaguely, though pleased, but her head slowly moved from side to side. I'm very grateful, but your feelings are enough. There are many things I need to do, so Mika-chan hung her head in remorse. Hey, whoa, seriously? All the club members are here for once, and we're not playing anything? Desertion in the face of the enemy. What was the punishment game for it? What part of the club constitution was that? And stop it, Mika-chan. We can't force her to play with us. Hey, this young man isn't trying to force her or anything. I just thought it would be more fun if we did something exciting. Really, I'm happy you feel that way. Don't worry, next time we meet, you see, I'll get you all caught in a gigantic trap. Oh. So they go along salting us, still says she couldn't participate in the club today and apologized. She quickly put her things to her bag and put it onto the hallway, disappearing. It all happened in a blink of an eye. Satoko, Mika-chan started loathingly as her friend hurried at home and unable to be part of the club activities. Silence filled the classroom. Both the cheerful voices of our classmates in the schoolyard and the voices of the Kakatas sounded like they were coming from some faraway world. This is boring. The silence was broken by Mia's bitterness as she began to put the games onto the desk and back into the locker. Everyone just stares at her absently as Sako's seat now empty. Mika-chan, maybe you could tell us about it now? Rina made a gentle smile as she possibly could and spoke softly to Mika-chan. Even without hearing it from her, we pretty much knew the situation at this point. Suko's uncle had broken up with his lover and come back home to Himisawa, and he had to get Satoko back home and force her to do all the household work. And that all had to be pretty rough on her. Thinking this was a common knowledge to everyone, I skipped to the important part. Is it really bad? Maybe I wanted to ask the same question. Nobody spoke. We all just stared, waiting for Mika-chan's reply. Mika-chan still didn't answer us. We were hoping for her to say no, but her silence was a bad enough sign. Last year it was like this when both her uncle and his wife were here, right? Yeah, at the time they were mostly just being cut between their aunt and uncle fighting. One of the ways we helped out was with the club by reducing her time at home as much as we could, but he's looking her to do chores now, so she can't stay at school either. Shit, Suko's not a slave. Who do you think you are, ignoring your own ability to leave properly, basically putting Satoko under house arrest? When you think about it, isn't this really strange? We need a lot of circumstantial evidence with this abuse. Can't we notify the police or something? You're right. If we had evidence she was being abused, I think we could tell the police. And can't we talk to the religious welfare people about this? Rena and I kept saying police, as though it were nothing about Mion's response sounded like she thought we were a little naive. It's easy for you to say that. Have you thought about the risk of actually getting proof? What do you mean risks? I think it was 2 winters ago we reported it to the Child Constellation Center. We told them there was abuse happening and to do something right away. Huh? You did? What happened? Krista came as soon as we called. She interviewed Satoko Satoshi about what was going on, and then their uncle and his wife too. I'm gonna understand so that's good Satoshi, but wouldn't it be not so good to talk to aunt and uncle? They said they based their judgment on what they heard from both sides. Good of them, wasn't it? So what did they decide to do? Wait and see. Wait, what do you mean wait and see? Their uncle really studied up on this stuff. By law, you can't call it abuse unless someone admits to assault or child neglect. They poked at Frost, took away Satoshi a lot, but never left any real marks on them. They pretty much eating 3 meals a day and had beds, and there weren't any recordings or something like that to prove that they'd said or done anything that caused psychological trauma. None of the villagers have actually seen them being violent either. No matter how you mean you are, you wouldn't act so violent in front of other people. Nobody would. Then what happened? The welfare officer apparently went to visit on the same day each week for a while, and Uncle knew they were being watched out and they tormented them in any way they would stand out. Of course, that was at the end of it. You mean they ramped up about how malicious they were being? Me outside and nodded. Anne was really damn stubborn. She's one of the most spiteful people I've ever known. Apparently she was doing some pretty disgusting things. She took over like a doll that did nothing but breathe by the end of it. So what? From the conclusion, does that mean they never should have contacted child welfare in the first place? Understand? Without proof of abuse so clear anyone could see it, there's nothing we can do. In fact, it might even make the situation worse. We messed up pretty bad. After hearing that, public organizations, the one thing I thought was dependable, couldn't do anything. Everyone hung their heads. In other words, until we have clear evidence of the abuse, we shouldn't notify anyone. Well, I mean, basically, yeah. I consider this such a good situation. Current situation, she was brought back to her house. It was a little difficult to call that abuse. Was she being tormented, forced to do the chores? How she being tormented would be the key, but without concrete evidence, it would be difficult to prove. If she was some kind of external injury, that would work. But as far as we could tell from today, she had nothing like that. Being forced to do the chores, that was a bit weak too. There had to be better evidence that she was without a doubt being abused. I know her uncle had ignored Satoko's existence for a whole year and went to live with his own liver in town. Then that fall under one of the definitions of abuse. I mentioned child neglect. Yeah, it's a perfect case of child neglect. What would that mean, Sharon? If her uncle weren't here now, it could be recognized as child neglect. But he's living with her at the moment, isn't he? They were apart before, but if he says that like he had changed of heart and said to live with her, they might just say, wait and see again. Once reported that we would need to be absolutely sure they enter as abuse. Remember, we needed far more concrete evidence, lest we repeat last year's mistake. It's sad. This means we need to sit quietly and wait for him to be violent towards Satoko-chan and leave a mark, don't we? Ugh. The only plan I could think of in the end was just watching and waiting. And let me be shocked when I realized it would be the same policy as the officials who had made the situation worse. As a man said, reporting to a public agency would be a gamble. If we were to pick a fight, it would have to be one we couldn't afford to lose. If it weren't gambling without enough money, without enough evidence, or defeat would be assured. If we took the time to amass enough money, that would be a sure victory. That would mean pretending we didn't see Stoko's plight for a considerable amount of time. Sorry for bringing this up now, but how is Rika-chan able to live by herself? Rika-chan lost her parents, if I recall correctly. From what I heard, she had no relatives either. She was forced to live on her own as a result, but her life was unfettered, free of restriction. If she could somehow grant that freedom to Satoko too, Rika-chan living without any parents, right? Don't kids with no guardians have to go to orphanages and stuff. Rika-chan is cruel. I'm not saying it to be mean. I only asked because I thought maybe there would be a hint to leave saving Satoko. Rika-chan, sorry if I offended you. Rika-chan shook her head, not particularly disturbed. Well, you see, it's because I'm considered the mayor's daughter. Let me explain. The mayor, Ome Kimiyoshi, is Rika-chan's guardian. He got official permission from the government of the prefecture. So you're adopted? No, not adopted. You could be someone's guardian without being in the same family. Oh, I get it. Rika-chan lives by herself, but by law she's considered to live with the mayor, right? Yeah, basically. That's how Rika-chan avoids being sent to an orphanage. Actually, Child and Family Services is not an orphanage. Meep. I don't understand the hard things, but anyway, she's right. Interesting you should say that, Mion. You could be someone's guardian if they're in another family. Then shouldn't we have the mayor or someone else because Sutoko's guardian fully on paper? Then she'd be in the same position as Rika-chan. and she could go back to her old life. Too bad it won't work. I mean, her uncle's supposedly her guardian. Wait a minute, you lost me there. What's a guardian exactly anyway? In legal terms, a guardian and a parent weren't necessarily synonyms. So whoever was actually looking after her at home would be considered her guardian. Then her uncle wasn't her guardian. He left her to go by herself for so long. But if he insists he's her guardian, that's that. It's been a few days since Tuko was taken back to her house. Her uncle's been paying for her meals since then, right? He is sort of looking after her, so he probably insists. And even though he had been in her for a whole year, he had already looked after her for a whole year before that. But that man doesn't have that kind of history. So then both me and the uncle and the Amir request a guardianship at the same time. That goal would make more sense. No, but you have a better chance. The time guardian first supposed to actually caring for her, right? The goal's actually just has a bed and free for her, but the man would just have his name. It wouldn't even be a contest. And then shit, the man just start caring for her for real. He'd be her guardian in name and reality if he did. We just see the shelter to go. And my leader, uncle, being desperate to take her back, but it will stop her and they refuse him. It won't be that easy. So Tuko is a growing girl, you know. It's not like giving someone a cat. You're asking him to take care of a real person. And Coach, what about Coach? Coach, geez, I don't know. He's got a lot of money, right? And he said it himself. Even if he started a real father, Coach became her guardian. Coach he would be great taking care of her. Stop that. Stop thinking of Tuko like a pet. All you're doing is talking about pushing her onto someone else. You need to think more seriously about how much responsibility it is to take care of another human being. Did you ask him? Did you get an extra promise him that he takes Tuko under his care? No, I didn't. But Coach would definitely say yes. Well, fine. Even considering the zero probability of Coach saying it was okay, then what? It still wouldn't work. He could have become a guardian all by himself. That's right. Coach just said it himself. He was alone, so he couldn't do it. Shit, what the hell? Why is being single such a disadvantage in a society? And then all you could do is marry into a wealthy family, couldn't you? Is anyone that wealthy in Hinosawa? I'm not sure. See, it's not simple. It's hard to adopt someone. And you can't go into thinking you'll push it to go into someone else just for a little while. You're being naive, Ki-chan. Shit, damn it, what the hell? I'm desperately thinking of something to go, and all you're saying is no. Don't you care about Satuko at all? Are you even worried about our friend one bit? What do you have to say for yourself? I didn't mean that, but it just won't be that easy, and it's not that difficult a problem. We just need to have some rich people look up just to go for a while, that's all. Right, what about your family, Mion? You always brag about how great it is being one of the 3 families or whatever, don't you? From what you said, you must live in a gigantic house. In my house? No, I won't have it. My grandma would never allow it. And then what about your relatives in Okinomiya? From what I've heard, they're living in luxury themselves. There's plenty of shops your relatives manage in town, too. Your family are basically millionaires, aren't they? No, that won't work. Going to Okinomiya is even more of the question. My father, he never let it happen, ever. Hey, normally you act like some high and mighty bigwig, and now you're all being spineless. What the hell? Are you just going to sit by and watch it go suffer? That's no, I don't. No, but I mean, I'm with help as much as you do. But it's a different story. How's a different story? How can you be so cold-hearted? Your friend is in trouble. What are you if you don't rescue her? You're our president, our club president. Save her from this crisis. If you don't save her right now, you're not her friend. You're not even human. But I don't know if you have any humanity left in you. Are you listening to me, Mion? My emotions all exploded out of me, and I don't even give her a chance to say anything in response. I just wanted to make Mion agree with me, even if I had to force her. If she did, Zuko's problems would be solved. If pushing her would solve the issue, then I push her as much as I need to. Why aren't you saying anything anymore? I'm asking you, asshole. Well, say something, Mion Sanisaki. Me? Hick. Mion looked down with her and face began sobbing. Her hands were clenched at the trembling fist, and she rubbed her eyes to wipe away the tears. Was what I said actually that mean? This is the first time to cry. This is the time to cry. We're in a gambling room, and I would do to save Satoko. As I thought that when I spoke, her voice cold and incredibly calm. Kichi-kun, if Nietzsche's family won't work, they will if we look for another wealthy family. I know someone who lives in a nice big house. Who's that? Oh, come on, you got a splitting family and you're leaving out things. My family is... Your friends, right? Save her, Kishi-kun. Nietzsche is cold-hearted after all. Since you are so considered to his friends, you should lead by example. Just the 3 of you living in that huge house, right? You've probably got plenty of spare rooms. You should just give a few of the empty ones to Satoko-chan. And then her worries will be all you'd be over. What's this? We're done already? That was pretty quick. Okay, great. Congratulations on solving the problem. Then we all be done for today. I'm going home. Hooray, hooray. Maybe I'll go to treasure hunting. I haven't done that in a while. I was so worried about Satoko-chan until now that I didn't feel like going to play at all. I don't know what I'll find today. How... Say something, will you? Why am I the only one talking? See something, you bastard. Ilusa Inkichi Mebera. Even the Kakata said the cower in fear. Rina had her shoulders bobbing up and down at me who had forgotten to breathe. Mion, whose face had got completely pale. Rika-chan, who was keeping silent, as if nothing had happened. The atmosphere in the classroom grew tight and stiff, and petrified us where we stood. Rattle, the sound of the chairs. Rina sat back down after and stood up, following loud everyone pressed to take a breath. Rina had shown me just how much I hurt Mion. Rina's scary. After a few moments, Rika-chan cut into the frozen air. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rika-chan. Rika-chan, I'm sorry to you too. I don't have to apologize to you, do I, Rikichi-kan? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so unreasonable. Were you all saying that to me before? You said it while glaring at Michan, so I totally thought you were talking to her. Rina has such strength that you wouldn't have imagined it normally. All I do is spell terrible things as a wave of violent fury passed over me. I could contain with her. Mion, I'm sorry. I lost my cool. Come to think of it, I didn't understand what had gotten me that riled up. I thought of myself as Sasako's Nini, so I only had good intentions that I'd think about it a little harder than everyone else, and yet... it's okay. You were worrying with everything you had, but all I was saying was that nothing will work, so I'm sorry. I did something wrong too. Mion rubbed away the tears at the corners of her eyes with her face and apologized as well. We bowed our heads to each other and looked down without glancing at the other. Someone I don't know who heaved a sigh. Satoko being tormented and had known about since last year. How had the tragedy back then saved Satoko? How had they brought it to an end? Right. In the end, nobody could do anything. All they could do was bear it patiently and wait for those agonizing days to end. That's right. The one who brought an end to those terrible days was some crazy drug addict nobody knew. The night of Tatarigoroshi last year, their mean end had been eaten to death, but it hadn't been done to save Satoko Satoshi. Right. It really was just a coincidence. Satoko's friends who needed to do something for him, most of all, could do nothing. The incident might have been a tragic one, but from Satoko's viewpoint, it was nothing less than a miracle. Yes, a miracle. A miracle could only wait for. It was waiting all we can do. Not for evidence of abuse, but not for something that minor. Huh? Wait. For what? A miracle. Don't make fun of me for using such a crazy word. We could just come up with any solution, so it wasn't the only thing we could do. We're powerless. That one word Mion dropped was the finishing blow. It was hot, my body was sticky with sweat. The worst month. June. Whew. Okay, guys, so I think I need to take a few-minute break from this. I'll catch up on my sore throat, get a drink, and I'll be back soon. If this screen would let me pause, okay. I walked forward quite a ways and then turned right where the rice fields ended. I never come here before, so I had no idea where to go. I've got lost several times, so I may have to get quite a long way around. Maybe I should have gone back home and got my bike first. It would have made everyone else worry if I asked them, so I asked one of our other classmates where Satoko's actual house was. That was originally her family's, apparently not their uncle and his wife's. Their house had been bigger, so they had taken it for themselves. Right here. So else is all in line. Over there. I was going to Satoko's house, but I didn't particularly intend to meet her there. I didn't mean to spy on her uncle either. Maybe I just wanted to be a little closer to her as her Nini. Pretty words, but I didn't know if they were true. If what told me to kind and others told me it was right, it'd be this house. When I recognized it, my feet grew heavy. What did I come here for? My motive for coming here was absurd. Wasn't this something like the second One where they tried to get in or something. Huh. Mian said at the end that we were powerless. They made me sort of frustrated. I just wanted to do something, anything other than waste the days away praying for a miracle. That's what made me come here. But that was all. Even if I were to witness her uncle actually tormenting Satoko, what could I do? Would I act like a comic book hero, punch the guy in the face, take Satoko away from me, with me, and then live together somewhere far away? That was ridiculous. I'm powerless. The Kakata's voices raised the chorus, sounding like they were scoffing at me, as though they were saying that if I couldn't do anything, then I should go back home. I heard a car approaching, so I got out of its way, but the car stopped right behind me, its horn harking shortly once. Annoyed, had I got out the way, I looked behind me, and a familiar face was looking at me out of the driver's seat window. Coach. Hello, my bearer-san. How unexpected to meet you all the way out here. Do you live nearby? Me being here was normal, just as I considered how someone giving him the slip. I noticed Satoko sitting in the passenger seat. Satoko got out of the car and began unloading a lot of the groceries from the trunk. I happened to run into the coach on my way back from shopping. He said he'd bring me home, so I accepted his offer. She wouldn't have been able to carry all those groceries on her bike. As Coach spoke, he pulled Satoko's bike out from the back seat where they put it. The grocery bags were big, and there were 4 of them. They all seemed to be packed full and very heavy. Those bags, 7 smart. Hey, is it that little far to go by bicycle? I looked at the bags and saw they were filled to the brim with sake bottles and snacks that used sake and boxes of cigarettes. Their weight was one thing, but their contents were nothing less than luxury items. I made it thanks to Coach. He helped me out. It was a little difficult going up those hills. Satoko gave Coach a small filter of gratitude. But it was incredibly awkward and even heart-rending. Satoko, those groceries aren't for dinner tonight, are they? Of course not. I do not drink sake and I hate snacks. Of course I don't smoke either. He made Satoko go to the discount store by herself on her bike so she could buy dumb shit like this. And what was Uncle doing right now anyway? He must have been working up a good split at this very moment if he needed to send Satoko out by herself, right? And nothing how much did Satoko suffer for no reason. I hadn't intended to voice my feelings, but the way they made it into my face, Coach might have noticed because he clapped me on the shoulder. Just then, one of the house windows clattered open, and the face of a vulgar man, the very sight of which made me immediately avert my eyes, emerged from within it. There was no self-introduction necessary. My gut told me that this was the uncle in question. The first thing out of his mouth should have been words of gratitude for Satoko. Satoko, you left the heat on for the sake on when you left, you halfwit. I'm sorry, but you told me to go right away. You idiot. All that brewing I did for nothing. Idiot. I'm sorry. Satoko miserably apologized over and over, bowing again and again. She could be perfectly good as a small animal. I had no idea what was happening. Satoko finished shopping for all this heavy stuff, and that was even for dinner. She only managed to come back because she ran into Coach and he drove her home. If she hadn't been found by him, she would surely still be by herself, panting and moaning, paddling her bicycle up that steep hill. What was those words, those horrible, sleazy words that he said to Satoko? And in what country's dictionary did he tell him to say such things? The young girl who just finished shopping. My anger, of course, wouldn't reach him. The uncle displayed no interest in me, instead shouting at Coach. Oh, if it isn't Dr. Ivy. Hello, why don't you come on inside too? We're in the last round so you can get in right away. 100 yen per 1,000 points and anything goes. No. I'll pass, thank you. I just ran into Satoko-chan, gave her a lift is all. I'll be leaving now. Nah, come play around. You could have gotten money, yeah? I couldn't even understand what her uncle and Coach were talking about, but I knew one thing for sure. None of what he just said had been things to go in anyway. Satoko, could you bring us the damn snacks? And I started getting those beers chilled too. Go get us some cold ones from the fridge. Tech-Jen, you're so harsh on her. She looks so sad. You should take better care of her. This is how I gotta treat her. She's been like this since she was my bro. Spoil her and she ain't gonna listen to a damn thing you say. Shit. Whatever, sure jaw, Tech-Jen. Tsubaki sang declared Richie too. Sorry, what? You're in Richie again, Tsubaki? It looked like it was just her uncle. Some of his friends were over. Hey, wait, what was he? No, what were they doing? Flinging rude words off their right because it took a little shopping for your beer. What were they doing? Michael's friends came from town and they're playing mahjong. He told me to prepare dinner for them as well. What the hell? Mahjong? He called his friends over for mahjong? They were too busy playing, so they insisted to go to buy them a crap load of booze from a faraway store. And the first thing he said to her was how she left the gas on. What the hell? What does this guy think he's doing? Who could get lost in some dumb game of mahjong and insisted to go to buy all this stuff? Even though Coach was listening, he pretended he wasn't. There was a line of heavy-looking shopping bags lined up on the ground next to the trunk. Maybe our son, you help too, please. You're a boy, you gotta carry this heavy one. Coach, you're gonna let this slide? This is completely... Coach pretended he didn't hear that falling outburst either. This is what I thought about later. His reaction might have been the best thing he could have done in that situation. Oops, I did not know what the hell I just clicked. Okay. I'll carry two of them myself. Come on, help us carry them, please. The bags were packed to the brim with bottles of sake and bar snacks. They were so heavy, and so filthy, so unfair. They weren't just heavy in terms of weight. They made me feel mortified. Nothing could have been heavier than that. Kichika, there's no need to push yourself. I'll carry it. So I almost took my body back, the humiliation screaming under the weight, and offered to help. Stupid, don't underestimate me. Suko had never looked down on my physical strength in the slightest. Coach, I'm sorry for you too. It must be heavy. No, not at all, answered Coach, smiling vaguely, coolly. But I alone knew. Coach was an adult, so he just knew how to keep his feelings from showing. There was even more anger than I was feeling, burning deep in his eyes. Well, haha, is savvy. Shit. It was a very far to the door to Stucco's house, but the bag squeezed my palms and started leaving red marks. Furry rolled me up, and the back of my throat stung. But even if all this came gushing out, it wouldn't solve anything. So I was just sadly gritting my teeth as much as I could do. Really, thank you so much, both of you. You really helped me here. After we carried it to the back door, Satoko said that was enough. Occasionally, we'd hear the repulsive laughing of her uncle and her friends from within, and my insides would seethe. I knew they weren't ridiculing us, and it made me so mad. They made Satoko shuffle all this heavy, selfish stuff, and ignored her and laughed amongst themselves as they pleased. It was deeply aggravating. Of course, Coach had felt the same way, but if he accidentally let his feelings slip into his face, he'd only cause Satoko more worry. I knew all that and spoke cruelly as if to say he didn't care. Not at all. I'm happy I could be a bit of help for you. If there's anything else I could help with, please tell me. Yes, I really am happy to feel that way. That's how he feels that way. Those words were sad. Suko herself was sad and resigned that we could only help her so much. But she was right. No matter how much Coach or I wanted to help Satoko, this was as much as we could do. I felt absolutely ashamed of having help her any more than this. I don't like the coloring as much either. It's like two colors, normal and like dark. Anyway, triple it all over. I almost started to cry for fury. Me too. If there's anything I could do, I'll help you whenever you need. So I'm hanging in there. I'm going to help at least. Give her those trite words saying that I'd help her whenever she wanted. Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy just that you all came the way here. You didn't need to. Soko seemed to have guessed what I was doing in a place like this when my house was in opposite direction from school. Alright, you should get going. They're drunk right now, so there's no telling what they'll get mad at you for. She felt guilty getting us involved after we'd help her, because she wanted to be the only one to suffer this misfortune. That's how it looked, and it hurt. I handed my supermarket bag over to Soko, and then I noticed on the back of Soko's hand, there was something that looked like a bruise. Hey Soko, what the heck is that bruise? And as much as anyone else, how transparent that sounded. I didn't need to hear from Soko to know how that bruise came to be. I just slipped on the stair and hit it a little. Please pay it no mind. You're lying. Coach nudged me in the back, and then he put his index finger to his mouth, so chided me for being so loud. Really, thank you so much. Until tomorrow, I hope we can see each other at school. That's not what I'm talking about. I asked you how you got this bruise on your hand. The evening glow finally got a point where I could see that other concealed oval-shaped bruises and just the swelling on her neck and her legs, and other places too. I fell down the stairs. The very moment my violent rampaging emotions were about to burst their way out of my throat, I found my mouth being tightly clamped down on. Coach was pressing down my mouth. Coach was pressed down on my mouth from behind, wrapping around me tightly with his hands. Because of that, I couldn't say anything. I could only groan, which I already did. That was all I could do. I needed to expel all my magma sitting deep within me, because otherwise I should have exploded to a million pieces that very moment. So I groaned from my mouth, from my whole body, till deep filling drops in my eyes. I groaned to the point of exhaustion. I was really absolutely riveting on myself. Even having lost my voice, I was still ringing it all out. I understand how you feel. I really do, my Bear-san. Please, just endure it for now. Please, I'm asking you, my Bear-san. Endure it for now, and then what, huh? What would happen to her, Satoko? Her body and mind were wounded, and she was being made to suffer like this. Could you not even let me howl in vain at it? Coach, are we this powerless, so powerless that we can even fucking scream from the bottom of our hearts? The voices of Higurashi made me calm down. I didn't know how long it had been, so Satoko abruptly gave a slight bow. Thank you very much, Kichi-san. Satoko, you looked like a lot like my Nini just now. My real Nini may not be here anymore, but I have another Nini named Kichi-san. Yeah, you got it. I'm your Nini, and when you're in pain, I'll help you no matter what. Your Nini will rescue you for sure. Satoshi Hojo, you fucking idiot. If not now, then when? Satoko, she's never been in more pain in her life. If her Nini doesn't save her now, then will he? Why did you run away? What did you abandon her? Why did you leave Satoko behind? You don't have any right to call yourself Satoko's Nini. I won't run away, huh? I definitely won't run away. I won't run away and abandon you like Satoshi did. No way. I will not abandon you. Slip. Tears trickled down from Satoko's eyes. And then she held her eyes to a smile. Goodbye, Nini. Satoko took her right hand, awkwardly waved to me. I'll be alright, my Nini now. Help me so much. So I'll be okay. I'll do my best until tomorrow. I'll be okay. So, for today, this is goodbye. There's no way that I could say bye, see you tomorrow. And then from inside the house came a throaty, disgusting voice. Satoko, could you finish the stacks already? Okay, Nini, get going already. I'll be fine now. Hurry. Let's go, my Bear-san. Staying any longer than this will be a bother to Satoko-chan. Coach, Nini's house is a little far away. I'm sorry to ask you, but could you take him home? Yes, I'll do that. Coach grabbed me by the collar, and with strength I couldn't have imagined him starting dragging me away. And I'm able to oppose him, started getting farther away from Satoko. She waved her hand to us, which is still dark, and disappeared. To the back door. Coach got into the car first and turned around on a narrow path and brought the passenger side door around for me. I know how you're feeling, so it hurts. No, I think I understand it even more than you. But right now, just for now, please endure it. She understood exactly how you feel, so please endure it. If you don't, I know already. I'm sorry, thank you before. I quickly got into the passenger seat. The car accelerated quietly, and Satoko's house grew farther and farther away in the rear view mirror. We made a wide turn, and I couldn't see her house anymore. Is your house that far away? Is it in another direction from the school, isn't it? I didn't bother to reply. I would have been hard-pressed to give him an answer as to why I was at Satoko's house. Coach didn't say anything anymore either. For a while, the two of us were silent. The only sounds from the gravel spraying over the road as we drove. I remember how Rena said things were different than last year. At the time, she had Satoshi with her, so she protected Satoko, so that less of the sparks fell onto her. But now Satoshi isn't here. Yes, that's an unfortunate truth. Coach, you have to understand what I really meant when I said that. It's a terribly sad, cruel story, but there's a limit to our resolve, our efforts, and our assistance. It sounded like an excuse, but he was right. Even if Coach and I wanted to be people Satoko could depend on, that was all. It did at the front door. No matter how much I shuddered, that would be her Nini. No matter how much I shuddered, that wasn't so abandon her. No matter how much Satoko called me Nini, I couldn't do any more than something. And we're on her because Satoshi had gone. The rest of Satoshi was another story. Her actual brother Satoshi, who was in a position to protect her far, far better than we ever could. That was the cold, sad truth of the massive gulf between Satoshi and us. I wonder what he's been doing lately. Satoshi left home, but didn't know why. Maybe it was because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Or maybe he disappeared or something. In any case, he was beside Satoko now. At the time, Satoko needed him to protect her, and most, he wasn't there. Why wasn't he here? Satoko needs him more now than ever. A lot of people talk about it, we were sure someone's curse, but the only thing I can say is that he ran away. One of my friends said that one day he just never came back. He ran away without even leaving so much as a note for his sister. Satoshi could have been doing part-time jobs a lot. At the time, Satoko-chan really wanted this huge stuffed animal. It ended up costing a lot, so he was doing all sorts of part-time jobs in order to afford it. He felt so strongly about it. Everyone was whispering about how he at least wanted to get his sister a nice birthday present, since she was being made to live such a pitiful life with her uncle and his wife. In the end, he didn't use his savings for a birthday present for Satoko. Satoshi-kun disappeared, and police looked for long and hard. They found out Satoshi-kun had withdrawn all his savings himself on the day he left. After checking all over, they began to think that maybe he used his savings to go to Tokyo. Tokyo? For what? Again, all I can say is that he ran away. He saved up all that money so he could run away. He was that selfish, but how could he just leave Satoko behind? If he was going to run away in any way, he should have brought Satoko with him. Even Naoko was still calm. He wasn't trying to pour any oil on the fire of my anger at all. He was just waiting until my anger naturally subsided. After listening to gravel being crushed under the wheels for Lavalco, spoke abruptly. Please understand, Sosako-chan left behind, arrived at the same conclusion. I'm a burden on my brother, and that's why he abandoned me. He didn't take her with him when he left. How terrible must Sosako have felt being betrayed by the brother she loved so much. But Sosako-chan was a very strong person. Of course, she had the support of a close friend, too, but that was how she regained her smile. I recall Satoshi spoke of Satoshi so brightly when I was eating dinner with her in Higurashi a few days ago. At the time, I didn't think any more of it than how pleasant her siblings' love had been. But now, when I think about it, I realized it was like she was bringing to the distance from the top of a pile of tragic rents, whatever. She said Satoshi will come back for sure, and that when he did, she wanted him to see how she was no longer a burden. Satoko was at a burden. She's way better at day-to-day living than me, and she could do pretty much anything. I mean, she might fall behind Rina Rika-chan in certain aspects, but she's way more of an adult than most people. And that's the result of her having to work so hard, so she didn't know when Satoshi would come home. Her efforts are so painful. While she lived with Rika-chan, while Rika-chan taught her how to handle everything flawlessly, also that she could welcome back Satoshi at any time, so that she could show him that she wasn't ashamed. So when Satoshi was going to come back, I asked the coach, but he knew he wasn't able to answer. In the case Satoshi ran away, he left Satoko and ran away from Hinamizawa. Someone said that when you leave Hinamizawa and run away, or you'll show someone's curse against you, right? And that made sense. Satoshi running away and his disappearance, that would obviously mean that people thought it was the curse, right? They could smile as though it was his own fault, as though he got what he deserved. Hey, or you'll show someone, whoever you are. Satoshi didn't vanish because he ran away. You demoned him away with your curse, didn't you? If that's not what happened, then I couldn't forgive him. And when this Satoshi ran away, the night of the Tatarigoroshi festival last year, when their aunt was killed by the deviant, it was a few days ago after that, on Satoko's birthday. On Satoko's birthday, whoa, bang! I slammed my hands on the dashboard in front of me with all my might. Satoshi, of all days, he could have chosen to run away. Their answers started a few days before, didn't she? All your days of suffering were about to end, weren't they? You weren't just about to start thinking about a new life, weren't you? You were starting to be happy about someone dying, but for Satoko and her brother, her birthday had come at a critical turning point. Their mean uncle had fled town and their siblings would be left alone. They should have been able to be happy about that. On Satoko's birthday, Satoko was probably waiting for her brother to return the whole time, waiting for her brother to return when he never did, waiting with bated breath for her brother to return, her hopes and dreams of a new life to come growing ever larger. But no matter how long she waited, he didn't come back. He didn't even contact her. Satoko trembled in anticipation of a great present. Just when would she have to face the cold, terrible truth? Satoshi, you fucking idiot. I could feel my blood rising to my head, and my anger at Satoshi was frustrating, was aggravated. I couldn't forgive him. Satoko so respected and adored her brother, and he so heartlessly betrayed her. Such a person would just come back now when he was most needed. Yes, no one would protect her, not even her real brother Satoshi. So when she started to see you as her nini, I was happy, huh? I was pray for Satoko's happiness as well, but I have a prestigious society and a job to do every day. I have little time that I can devote to Satoko-chan, but you're different. You had to go to school with her, and you're closer to her and Satoshi-chan in age. I know you think that you can only do so much, but you're in a position where you can get Satoko-chan a hand much better than I can. So you want to help her, and for the both of us, that's what I wish for. But that's, Coach, you could. Of course, with my job skills, there are plenty of things I could only help her with. But in the same way, there are things only you can do for her. What I want to say is we should both perform in every way we can. It was a little too complicated. Coach added that, but I shook my head in response. When I heard him say that he had job skills, it reminded me that he was in a totally different position from all of us. Maybe I should ask him about it. Oh, Coach, you know what a law is all about laws? No, I don't. I know even less than the average person. Why? I thought about it when I argued with me on this about Satoko. Our children's argument had only left us with the conclusion that we had to wait and see, but what would an adult think? What was that child worthwhile law? As an emergency measure to secure the safety of a juvenile, they could force him or her to separate from the parents. They can do that, so then we could rescue Satoko from Marco right away. Satoko-chan might not want that, unless the person is being abused or shelter anyway. It doesn't go that far. Satoko doesn't want it? Why? Coach didn't answer me. I don't know why he didn't. It was clear as day that Sako's uncle was being violent, treating her like a slave. So then why? I clamped down the frenzied emotions and waited late for Coach to answer. But he never did. He wasn't like this, but he hadn't heard me. If I had to say, it was more like he wanted to explain, but couldn't put in the right words. Satoko-chan probably could think of this abuse as trial. Trial? This is some weird religion we're talking about. He must know this, but Satoshi couldn't always look up for Satoko-chan. She always relied on him, almost as though she was utterly dependent on him. I know for a while that Satoshi had always protected Satoko from their aunt and uncle, but that it was his duty as an older brother and had something to worry about. I think that maybe traumatized her. She figured that depending on so heavily on her brother and made him hate her. So for Satoko, the current situation was a retelling the story of a little over a year ago, but the Satoshi wasn't here, so I believe that now she's thinking something like this. She wants to overcome this trial by herself without relying on anyone else, and that if she doesn't go strong, then Satoshi-kun will never return. Now that he mentioned it, Satoko had never said a word about how hard it had been before. I figured that she was being threatened not to talk about it, but I talked with everyone and we were wondering if we should report it to the Child Constellation Center. I have heard that a social worker was visiting Satoko-chan last year. Yes, in the end they decided to wait and see, and we thought maybe that may get her tormented even more. This was apparently Satoko-chan reported it herself, and as a result her abuse worsened, but we just kept just out of sight. She was under even more torment and burden than Satoshi-kun for protecting her so considerably. How could Satoko? She wouldn't even be thinking it's her own fault for reporting it, would she? Questioned her quietly. Satoko-chan would probably either hate it if you suggested reporting the abuse or feign courage and say you didn't need to. And if you reported it in secret, she probably insisted to the social worker that she was being abused. Satoko always acts tough and doesn't readily admit defeat, so I can imagine that easily. And there are strict limitations on some emergency measure. The Child Constellation Center would need permission both from court and from the concerned party. If the abuse was known to the public, they could forcibly shelter her even if she denied it. For Satoko-chan, that would probably mean losing. This isn't about winning or losing, it's real life. Satoko-she's back on topic. After they placed her under the protection, she would be sent to a child care institution or the like, and she would basically be living there, so it means moving away. And with the change in residence, it would come a change in schools, too. That change in schools, it has to be done, if that's what it will take her to be safe. Satoko-chan understands all these things. All the more reason for her not to want it. Why? Because Satoko-chan's reason for living is to wait at the house for Satoshi-kun to return. She is a husk and empty shell after being abandoned by her brother. How does she find a reason to live? So looking at it from Satoko-chan's point of view rather than your own. I felt like he was trying to confuse me with that hard-to-understand roundabout way of talking to unique adults. But the point was that I couldn't do anything about Satoko wanting to stay in that house, and that I should watch until she gives in. In the end, no matter what I said, Coach himself was saying to wait and see. I don't understand. What? If I feel that Satoko is really in danger, I will report it without asking anyone's opinion. She might not be happy with the result, and she might hate me for it, but I believe that they'll ultimately will bring Satoko happiness. Coach turned to me and gazed fixedly into my eyes. It was written all over his face, and he was shocked at what such a young kid had said. Why did you go that far? Coach, rather normal adults might not have understood. So I taught him the creed and values that I believed in. Satoko's my friend, and I asked Satoko's Nini, is that enough of a reason? I said I am with a will strong and unbreakable, as still as his eyes betrayed a tiny bit of unrest. No, of course it's enough. We were silent for a little while until finally Coach said only that. Didn't we make a promise? I'm sorry, what? That we weren't going to ever let Satoko cry? We made a vow on that day of the barbecue party. I didn't think about it hard at all, but Coach and I still made a promise that we never ever let Satoko cry. Coach gave a dry sign of regret, immediately apologizing for not remembering. One way or another, when he grinned like that, it made me think that his enthusiasm for saving Sotoko was a tiny bit smaller than mine. He lightly hit the brakes and made a skidding nose and leaned forward. Could that be your house there? All right, Mayuri-san, we'll live at the Mayberry residence, wouldn't he? Before I knew it, we were almost to my house. This is probably the end. Damn, that was a lot of freaking reading. Throat's all sore and dried out, man. So is that the end of this chapter? Yes. I will see you guys later. I need to get my voice all cleared out and everything. Got my achievement, alright.